In American politics, Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania stands out, not just for his height and hoodies, but for his unapologetic authenticity and the way he breaks the mold of a typical politician. With his signature look and direct approach, Fetterman has become a symbol of a new kind of leadership, one that doesn't shy away from tough conversations or uncomfortable truths. His blunt, working-class message resonates with people who feel overlooked by the political establishment. Fetterman's style isn't just for show, it's a reflection of his deep connection to the struggles of everyday Americans, especially those in the industrial heartland. Long before he set foot in Washington, Fetterman built his identity as a man of the people, rooted in Pennsylvania's forgotten towns. He spent years as mayor of Braddock, working to revitalize a community hit hard by economic decline, and his hands-on approach earned him respect across party lines. After the Democrats' loss in the 2024 presidential election, Fetterman's new memoir, Unfettered, delivers a scathing critique of his own party. The book pulls no punches, offering an insider's perspective on what went wrong and why so many voters felt abandoned. He argues the Democrats have lost touch with the working class, focusing more on elite ideals than real-world problems. Fetterman points out that while party leaders debate policy in Washington, families in places like Braddock struggle to pay bills and find good jobs. Fetterman's warning is clear. The party's disconnect is a deep, systemic problem that cost them the White House. He believes this isn't just a temporary setback, but a sign of a much larger crisis of trust between the party and its traditional base. Through personal stories, including his recovery from a stroke, he illustrates how the party has strayed from its roots. Fetterman's own journey, marked by resilience and vulnerability, serves as a reminder of the real-life challenges so many Americans face. He urges Democrats to confront why working-class voters have turned away, insisting that change is urgent. Fetterman calls for a renewed focus on bread-and-butter issues, jobs, healthcare, and dignity for all. The book's timing, just after a painful loss, is no accident. It's a wake-up call. Fetterman wants his party to see this moment as an opportunity to rebuild, not retreat. Fetterman isn't trying to tear the party down, but to save it from itself. He believes that honest self-reflection and a willingness to listen are the first steps toward regaining trust. His message: stop talking down to people, start listening, and make sure every voice is heard, not just those in the halls of power. He calls for a return to the party's core mission: fighting for working families, expanding opportunity, and building a coalition that reflects the true diversity of America. Without a serious course correction, he warns, Democrats will keep losing ground with the voters they need most. For Fetterman, the path forward is clear: reconnect with the people, or risk becoming irrelevant in the places that matter most. At the heart of Fetterman's critique is the charge of elitism. He says Democrats have become a party of elites, out of touch with the working class they once championed. The party's leaders, he argues, live in a bubble, prioritizing issues that resonate with urban professionals while ignoring practical concerns of everyday Americans. This cultural snobbery, Fetterman warns, alienates voters who feel looked down upon. In 2024, many saw Democrats as more interested in policing language and fighting culture wars than creating jobs or securing the border. The result? Working-class voters, even former Democrats, turned to Trump, who spoke directly to their frustrations. Fetterman insists this isn't a new problem. It's a long-term trend the party ignored. Winning back these voters, he says, will require a fundamental change in attitude and culture. Fetterman criticizes the party's reliance on celebrity endorsements, arguing it widens the gap between Democrats and ordinary Americans. He says parading wealthy celebrities does little to persuade struggling workers, it just reinforces the party's elite image. In 2024, voters saw Democrats as soft and gooey, promoting ideals detached from daily realities like inflation and crime. Fetterman believes people want leaders who are grounded and pragmatic, not idealistic and out of touch. The focus on abstract ideals and celebrity culture, he argues, made Democratic promises feel empty. Meanwhile, Trump's direct talk about jobs and national pride resonated with those who felt ignored. Fetterman's point: you can't win by talking over people's heads or letting movie stars do the talking. Meet voters where they are, address their real concerns. Fetterman's memoir bluntly addresses what he calls the party's anti-men messaging. He argues that in championing women's rights, some Democrats adopted a tone that alienated men, an enormous political mistake. His memorable line, "If men are forced to choose between picking their party or keeping their balls, most men are going to choose their balls." Fetterman says when men feel stereotyped or blamed, they'll look for a party that respects them. This dynamic, he claims, drove many male voters to Trump in 2024. The problem isn't just policy, it's a broader cultural current that paints traditional masculinity as toxic. Fetterman warns that making men feel like the enemy is political poison. Trump, in contrast, projected unapologetic masculinity and welcomed men who felt left behind. Fetterman's warning: Democrats can't afford to write off half the population. The party must advocate equality without making men feel like the problem. On immigration, Fetterman walks a careful line. He's pro-immigration, but also deeply critical of his party's handling of the ongoing border crisis. He believes in the promise of America as a nation of immigrants, but he's not afraid to call out what he sees as serious missteps by Democratic leaders. Fetterman argues that what some Democrats called compassion was in reality chaos, an approach that, while well-intentioned, led to confusion and hardship for everyone involved. An uncontrolled border, he writes, is dangerous for migrants who risk their lives, overwhelming for border towns struggling to provide resources, and unsettling for citizens who feel their concerns are ignored. Fetterman insists a secure, orderly immigration system isn't cruel. It's necessary for fairness, safety, and the integrity of the process. He believes that compassion must be paired with common sense. He says Democrats made a grave error by downplaying the border crisis, creating a credibility gap with voters and making it harder to have honest conversations about solutions. People saw the chaos on TV every night. When Democrats denied it or dismissed concerns, it felt insulting and dishonest to many Americans who wanted real answers. This allowed Republicans to own the issue, branding Democrats as the party of open borders and painting them as disconnected from reality. Fetterman believes you can be both pro-immigration and pro-border security. They must go hand in hand. He argues that a strong border is not anti-immigrant, but the foundation for a system that works for everyone. A legal, well-managed system is impossible if the border is in chaos. Without order, the system breaks down, and everyone loses: migrants, border communities, and the nation as a whole. By failing to grasp this reality, Democrats looked unserious and out of touch. Voters couldn't ignore what they saw and felt, and the party paid a political price for it. Fetterman identifies the border crisis as a deciding factor in the Democrats' 2024 loss. He says it became a national symbol of government incompetence, devastating the Harris campaign. Democrats, he writes, told voters the border was secure, contradicting what people saw with their own eyes. This political gaslighting shattered trust and made voters wonder what else the party was hiding. Trump seized the moment, promising order and border security in simple, direct terms. Democrats' response seemed muddled and evasive, ceding the issue to Trump. Fetterman's lesson: voters aren't stupid, they know what's happening around them. A party that denies reality is doomed to fail. The border crisis wasn't just a policy failure, but a communication disaster. For many, it was reason enough to vote for change. Fetterman's outsider status showed in the Senate dress code controversy. Famous for his hoodies, he flouted the chamber's business attire rule. In 2023, Schumer relaxed the dress code for Fetterman, sparking backlash and claims of disrespecting tradition. Critics said it made Democrats look unserious and distracted from real issues. Under pressure, Schumer reversed course, reinstating the dress code, a move Fetterman saw as aimed at him. The episode highlighted Fetterman's clash with party leadership and Washington's misplaced priorities. For him, the focus on attire symbolized the disconnect between the old guard and his populist style. While colleagues worried about clothes, he wanted focus on working-class problems. The saga reinforced his image as a political outsider unafraid to challenge elite conventions. Fetterman's independence was clear during the 2025 government shutdown. While party leaders demanded a hardline stance, Fetterman opposed shutting down the government over Obamacare subsidies. He joined moderates to vote with Republicans, reopening the government without the subsidies. This defied Schumer's strategy and angered progressives, exposing deep party divisions. Fetterman defended his move as common sense, putting people over party games. He argued that keeping government open mattered more than ideological purity. The episode cemented his reputation as a maverick willing to work across the aisle. For Fetterman, practical results should always come before party loyalty. Fetterman's Unfettered is more than just a critique of the Democratic Party. It's both a roadmap for renewal and a stark warning for Democrats at a crossroads. In his book, Fetterman draws from his own experiences, urging the party to look beyond the echo chambers of Washington and truly listen to the people they represent. He says the party faces a fundamental choice: remain a party of elites and risk losing touch with everyday Americans, or reconnect with its working-class roots and rediscover the path to victory. The stakes, he argues, couldn't be higher. Fetterman believes the change must start with humility. Stop talking down to voters, start listening with genuine intent, and respect all voters' concerns, no matter how different they may seem. That means taking border security seriously, using plain, honest language, and focusing relentlessly on economic issues that matter most to families, like jobs, wages, and the cost of living. Fetterman isn't calling for abandoning core democratic principles, but for communicating those values in ways that resonate broadly, especially with people who feel left behind or unheard. He urges pragmatism over purity, showing voters that the party understands the real-world complexity of their lives and is willing to meet them where they are, not where it wishes they'd be. His warning is clear: get real, stop acting morally superior, and respect the dignity of work and family. Only then can trust be rebuilt. If Democrats make this shift, Fetterman believes, they can rebuild a broad, winning coalition, one that truly reflects the diversity and aspirations of America. If not, Fetterman warns, the 2024 loss will be just the beginning of a much deeper decline, with more voters turning away in frustration. The party's future depends on whether it can reconnect with reality and the people it claims to serve before it's too late to win them back.